So one of the biggest questions we get a lot recently is how have you had your best years ever during a global pandemic?
But before we discuss how we've done so well through this pandemic and how the pandemic has truly affected the flipping business, please make sure to hit that like button so that we can share our story with all those others around YouTube looking to invest.
It is no secret that the introduction of COVID into our lives and into our real estate investing lives has made major changes, not all for bad and not all for good.
No, the appreciation in the housing market has gone crazy. I'm sure you've seen the news articles, you've talked to all your friends and neighbors where they have 100,000+ in equity. It's been nuts.
Absolutely. Much of this appreciation can be attributed to simple supply and demand. So what I mean by this is many of the people that would have sold during the pandemic time decided to not sell and stay put.
Yeah, and you know what this caused was a severe lack of inventory in the market. We had less than 1 month of inventory on the market throughout the entire pandemic, which of course caused the appreciation to soar through the roof.
Now that the inventory of available homes has plummeted, buyers are still out there trying to beat out their competition and get their offer accepted.
Yeah, and this is one of the main catalysts for the rising prices that we've been experiencing in this market.
The pandemic is changing the housing market right here in the United States. More of us are working from home and want things like office space, a larger kitchen, a home gym, and more outdoor space. ABC's Deirdre Bolton is in New York City with a look at what all of this means for demand and for housing prices. Deirdre, good morning to you.
Good morning, Dan. The U.S. housing market is rising at the fastest pace on record. So strong demand, limited supply, and low rates, record low rates, are pushing prices up and up.
Sounds really good for real estate investors, right?
Well, yes and no. You know, we've had a lot of repercussions from COVID over and above what you heard on the news about all these rising home prices and huge equity in your home. We've seen a lot of negatives as well.
Unfortunately, our construction crews are not immune to this virus. We've seen workers get infected and then come to work not knowing and actually infect the whole crew. And ultimately, this is awful for them and their families.
Yeah, and unfortunately, we as the investors, we're the one who incurs the delays and incurs the cost of this. Because as you know, as investors, time is money. The longer it takes to complete the job, the more it costs us.
We've also experienced outrageous delays when it comes to ordering and shipping of materials.
That's right. Since so many of our materials, such as flooring, countertops, fixtures for our projects, come from overseas, we've seen huge delays in the shipping for those materials.
Many of those materials are literally sitting out there on cargo ships in shipping containers in various ports across the country.
It's crazy. If you drive up the coast of California, there's like 50, 60 ships on the port of Long Beach.
Just sitting there.
So we've seen construction delays with the labor. We've seen material delays with the shipping. But honestly, one of the biggest effects that we've had on our business is the pricing for both construction and material has gone through the roof.
Almost across the board. One of the things you've definitely seen because it's been all over the news is lumber. Lumber prices have absolutely gone nuclear. They've gone almost 15 times in the last year alone.
It's literally a board of plywood is like $400.
It's crazy.
Money does grow on trees.
It does, Brian. Yeah, look, lumber prices could be at a new record high by the end of the week. Framing lumber is right around $945 right now. That's up over 110% year over year, up about 10% in just the last week and matching the 52-week high.
This material price increases causes big problems for investors who ultimately buy their projects and homes based off of renovation budgets. And when those budgets increase, this can cause big problems for your profitability at the end of the deal.
Because I've talked to a lot of contractors in the area around here. You can see they're all over the place with additions going on and going up. And they're talking anywhere from 15 to 25% more in your costs for basic things, whether you're putting on a deck or putting up an addition, anything related to lumber. And some other prices are going up as well for other things that go into home construction. So, you know, you got to budget for it and you got to be ready to cut in some places just in order to afford it.
So in summary, we really do want to give you a couple takeaways. We've had such a fantastic year because we truly learned to adapt and change to the environment of the market and the circumstances that surround this business. We were able to account for time delays, labor shortages, by hiring multiple general contractors, pricing, by putting that into our initial buys, and calculations when we're purchasing deals. If you're not adapting and changing to the market, you could really find yourself dug into a deep hole.
And keep in mind, when we say we've been plugged in and forecasting these changes, we don't know exactly what's going to happen or exactly how much longer it's going to take us to do a deal. But the bottom line is we allocate more time than usual. We allocate more money for materials or budgeting for rehabs than usual. So just that alone has allowed us to make really safe investments during this period of time.
So if you have any questions on how we got through the pandemic and fought this fight, investing in real estate, flipping real estate, financing towards flips, make sure to drop a comment below. We're always here to help and answer your questions.
We know you're out there hustling just like we are, so we promise we will get back to you and provide you with answers to your questions.
And until then, we'll see you on the flip side.